Hi there. I'm Jim Sipley. I'm one of the attorneys at Tollner Law Offices, and this is my first contribution to TLO's new project to put information in the hands of parents, advocates, and attorneys to take training to the next level, a step beyond what we're seeing available out there. And this particular training material is designed for the worried parents, the parents whose children aren't already in IEPs, aren't already receiving assistance under 504 plans, might not even know what those terms mean, but are seeing their children struggle, suffering, and feeling that the school isn't really looking out for your best interests, might feel that your concerns are being dismissed, might feel that the school's dragging their feet, delaying. We're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about child find as a legal concept, how it really works, and in particular, why you shouldn't count on it to be something that's going to come to your child's rescue. Two, I'm going to talk about the 10 red flags, indicators that your gut feelings may be true and that your child's suffering from or challenged by some type of learning disability or developmental delay. And three, how to take those factual materials from those red flags and craft a compelling request that your school district assess your child for special education eligibility. So let's start with child fine. What is child fine? Well, child fine's a federal law that requires school districts to basically fine, be on the lookout for children that require special education assistance or services. Problem is that that federal law doesn't really define what states are supposed to do. It turns over to the states an obligation to create a program or system, sometimes set their own definitions. So every state's approach to child find is different. And second, the problem is that there's not a great deal of incentive for child find to actually work. The cure for a child fine violation, which is one of the most common violations that our firm sees, is compensatory education, which by definition is something less than a one-to-one return. If your child misses 20 hours of a particular service, speech, OT, tutoring, you might only get 10 hours to make up for it. So think about the impact of that. If I have to pay $10 for a movie ticket, but if I sneak in and get caught, I'm going to be allowed to stay, but they're going to make me pay $8. Does that really give me incentive not to sneak in? So the sad reality is child fine, while an important violation, something pled in virtually every complaint our firm files, it isn't really working. 80% or more of the cases, the people that call us, the consultations we provide, the child wasn't assessed until the parents made the request. And in virtually every one of those cases, when we looked back into the child's records, there was plenty of evidence indicating that the school, the teachers, the administrators, the staff were well aware of the problems that the parents were seeing. So understand that child find is an important thing. Understand there's some differences, and you're going to need to look at how your state particularly views it, because each state may define a developmental delay differently. They can change the age range. Some states may cover birth through 21, others may have 3 through 9, 3 through 5, and there may be different agencies responsible. Sometimes it's a regional center, sometimes it's a school district. There's other obligations. They can split responsibility between different government groups. They're supposed to do public awareness. Be aware that this includes all children. It includes children in private schools. It includes highly mobile children, transient workers, migrant children, homeless children, children that are foster care wards of the state. And particularly understand that child find does not exclude a child just because they appear to be surviving. Just because they're passing, because they're promoting grade to grade, doesn't mean they aren't eligible for special education services. So the important thing about child find, from my experience and my personal opinion, is it tends to only work in two situations. When the eligibility is obvious, the child has clearly got a learning disability or developmental delay, and there's no real question, profoundly impacted children. Two, when the impact affects the school. If your child is out of control, is having behavioral problems, is a challenge to the teachers, the staff, potentially a hazard to other students, they're much more likely to initiate the process of assessments or evaluations. If your child's not profoundly impacted and what your child is doing is suffering in silence, you're more likely to fall in that 80% where Child Find is not going to help you until it's claimed as a violation sometimes down the line. And you're going to have to take steps to request assessments. The second part of this video is going to discuss looking at your gut and determining whether or not your concerns are justified. We're going to talk about 10 red flags, the indicators of potential learning disabilities or developmental delays, the things that should be taken seriously and warrant taking that next step of requesting your child be assessed for special education.